I only know that he and the other Avengers are on a text thread that is used several times a day. It's used to talk about everything from creative rewrites that caught actors off guard to rescheduled shoots. The civil war in the Marvel camp is still going on. We don't understand what you're doing. When one beloved star snapped and leaked information about the next Avengers movie, others did the same. They are very secretive, it's a big movie, what's going on in the MCU. Stay tuned as I reveal all about the ongoing war. In just 72 hours, 3 Marvel alumni, including 2 core Avengers, started a firestorm. One did it by accident, one did it on purpose, and one did it because, in their own words, enough is enough. We have footage, insider reports, recently resurfaced interviews that Disney probably wishes they had buried, and a now viral outburst in which one actor says, "There is nothing I can tell you." But what he doesn't say will send chills down your spine, especially when compared to what was leaked just days later. What's even scarier is that this isn't just about a script leak. It's about a deeply broken studio culture that's now erupting in public, fueled by anger, betrayal, and a full-blown rebellion from the actors who built the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Stay tuned. In just a few minutes, we'll show you the leaked character arcs, the cast members who won't be returning, and how Disney allegedly tried to silence them by threatening to blacklist them. But first, let's talk about the moment that broke the dam. Paul Rudd, friendly, charismatic Marvel's golden boy, the last person you'd expect to throw a grenade into the Disney machine, and yet in a recent interview Rudd was asked directly twice whether the Russo brothers had contacted him for Marvel's upcoming slate, and despite being media-trained to oblivion, he flinched hard. "I know it's serious, true, it's like I feel like, hey Kai, like I blink, can I send messages, just like where would you be in a month?" You could almost hear the legal team holding their breath backstage, but the internet, it caught everything, especially when rumors swirled about filming starting in London, the same city Rudd accidentally referenced seconds later. Coincidence, please? But here's where things escalate, because not even a week later one of his co-stars went off script, off the leash, and off the deep end. An unnamed source from a major entertainment outlet revealed that Marvel's Phase 6 had undergone massive rewrites. Not because of creative evolution, but due to internal sabotage, and allegedly some of those leaks came directly from disgruntled actors who felt betrayed by Marvel. One of them even said off record that they don't care anymore because Disney treats us like action figures, not people. Is that just hyperbole? Maybe, but it perfectly aligns with what we uncovered in the Avengers Endgame premiere interviews, where behind the glitz and red carpet grins you can literally spot the cracks forming in real time. Watch this, once in a career, once in a lifetime opportunity, and just trying to, soak up every moment, enjoy it. I think we're all pretty proud of what we've done. Proud, sure, but pay attention to the tone, the fatigue, the unspoken. Thank God it's over. Several actors, including Chris Hemsworth and Brie Larson, have spoken out about the emotional exhaustion that comes with working in the Marvel machine, the never-ending press junkets, the script lockdowns, the claustrophobic secrecy. And now we're seeing the aftershocks of that mental toll in the form of bitter sarcasm, non-answers, and most damning of all, leaks. There was a leak of a very detailed plot summary for Avengers Endgame that included character deaths, betrayals, and an ending that supposedly takes away all of the emotional weight of the first Endgame. This happened just 48 hours after Paul Rudd's vague media tour. It could have been a coincidence or a consequence, but even if you think the leak was fake, this is where it gets real. Marvel has now tightened security around all cast members, reportedly changing filming locations and suspending certain crew clearances, according to a former production insider. They're treating this like an espionage case. Phones are banned, people are being watched. It's crazy, and the actors aren't hiding their disdain in a resurfaced round clip. Don Cheadle, who plays War Machine, says, "I think in this one we really got to see a lot of different sides of Roi, so I've had a nice arc in his character run and it's been a lot of fun." That sounds nice, but then you compare it to his most recent appearance, where he says he hasn't heard from Marvel in over a year, and that arc sounds like a funeral. Maybe that's why Paul Rudd and others are leaking what they are, because for many of them, this is the end, the final bow, the moment when they stop smiling and start talking, and that's exactly what's going on behind closed doors, according to 2 separate sources. One came from within Disney's legal department, and the other was from a high-level PR firm that had worked with Marvel before. The leaks weren't just emotional outbursts or publicity stunts. They were retaliation. At least 2 of the Marvel actors who have been quiet in recent months were allegedly facing internal sanctions from Disney, and one was almost pulled from the final contract round for Avengers Secret Wars because they questioned the new script direction. In an industry where contracts are almost sacred and disputes are handled quietly behind studio doors, this was reportedly escalated to what one source called a studio-level Cold War. Scripts were being rewritten without telling lead actors, characters were suddenly repurposed, and when complaints were made, they were met with silence or threats of legal exposure. That's right, this is where the hypocrisy starts to shine through. This is the same Disney that treats its actors like trophies at D23 and talks about family values and creative freedom in its corporate press releases. But now we know that some of the most famous Avengers were being gaslighted and frozen out behind the scenes when they didn't toe the corporate line. Just look at how tight-lipped the cast suddenly got during promo tours in this resurfaced red carpet exchange. You can literally feel the unease. Yeah, so we know what to say in interviews like this. For me, I'm just really new to the Marvel universe. But seeing people cosplay and really love it makes me want to learn more. I'm already liking it. Now think about how much work goes into making sure an actor knows what to say in interviews like this. Is it just media training or damage control? But here's the real kicker. All of this heated up after the now famous off-the-record phone call between a former Avenger and a Marvel executive, which our sources say was recorded without Disney's knowledge. We haven't gotten our hands on the audio yet, but several entertainment journalists have confirmed that it exists, and quotes and snippets of what was said have been shared on forums and private Discord servers where film insiders share verified tips. Unreal. I told him, no, because the script's a mess, they're not telling a story anymore, they're just cashing in on nostalgia. They told me that fans would watch anything with the logo on it, and that's when I knew I was done. That last line feels like the time when a relationship that had been going on for 10 years turned bad. And they're not wrong. Marvel's Phase 5 box office numbers have already taken a noticeable dip, with the Marvels marking one of the lowest performing entries in the franchise's history, and instead of recentering on storytelling and character growth, Marvel allegedly pushed forward with bloated ensemble scripts and franchise fatigue, disguised as multiverse ambition. So when an actor like Paul Rudd nervously dodges questions or Don Cheadle quietly acknowledges that he's unsure of his future in the MCU, it's not just awkwardness, it's a pattern, a disturbing studio-wide erosion of trust. Even in the Scriptoscreen breakdown, screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen Msily hinted at how fractured things had become during development. We were meant to stick the landing that was from the very beginning was, and so that the movies were named Meryl 1 and Meryl 2, for Meryl Ureton. They had a vision, but somewhere between that and now the corporate override took over. We didn't pitch that one after the first one came out. I think there was a certain level on the Disney executive side where they were like, we don't get what you're doing, so just keep doing and it was Kevin who was really like, just go for it and don't pull any punches and really make it mean something. Even Kevin Feige reports say that Marvel's longtime boss is under a lot of pressure. Insiders say that his control over creative direction is slipping because of new rules from higher-ups at Disney that focus on streaming integration and toy-driven character redesigns. This brings us to what could be the biggest betrayal of all the leaks. Something more than just a line or a hint, based on what several insiders have said. 3 sources have given us a full list of Avengers, Doomsday characters, and a rough outline of how the main plot points will unfold. There is a major OG Avenger who comes back to life 6 years after Endgame, but not as a hero. Time Variance Authority is now in the spotlight, and many timelines will collide in a terrible age that causes ruptures. One version of Tony Stark is said to show up, but it's not the Tony we knew. Also, one of the returning Avengers dies in the first act, which sets off the rest of the plot and feels incredibly unfair, according to people who have seen the script. It's easy to see why the actors are so angry. This isn't just a paycheck for them. It's not storytelling to see all of these characters' stories, arcs, changes, and sacrifices summed up in one big event movie. It's exploitation. Also, leaked casting sheets show that whole new leads are being trained to replace old heroes, and the racial, gender, and age politics surrounding that are already making waves in the studio. You thought this was just a leak? No, this is an implosion, and the fallout is just getting started. The leak happened behind closed doors at Disney and Marvel Studios. There has been a full-on casting war going on. It's not just about who gets to work and who doesn't. It's about power and a group of actors who are tired of playing nice. First, let's talk about what just got out and why it's making things very bad in the executive room. Recently verified industry scooper Daniel Richman reported that a short list of Avengers Secret Wars castings had been internally circulated, and not only were some familiar names missing, several new ones had been added without any prior negotiation with the existing cast. Think about that. Imagine building a billion-dollar franchise, pouring a decade of your life into one role, then discovering through a leaked production memo that your replacement has already been cast. That's exactly what Insiders say happened to at least 2 OG Avengers, 1 male and 1 female, and the airmath, let's just say the gloves came off. According to an insider close to one of the actors, they felt blindsided. It was a massive betrayal, especially after all the loyalty they showed promoting the last few films. One actor was reportedly so upset that they refused to appear at D23 even after Disney offered to fly them out via private jet and give them a surprise on stage. Reveal their response: "I'm not your circus act." It's said that they told their agent to turn down any offers from Marvel going forward. In a text message shared privately with a journalist at the Ankler, they wrote, "I'd rather do community theater than pretend Disney still gives a damn about us. We're not naming them here yet, but we'll come back later because that story is directly linked to a secret script."